not sure if most of you guys know, but if your item is in FBA, it gets ranked a lot higher than if your item is in FBM. So this video, I'm gonna demonstrate how to prep and shipping your items to FBA, and also how to delegate that to your team, whether it's a warehouse team or you just have an employee packing at your house or something. But this is overall the strategy that I use and I found to be the most efficient. And you know, it might not be the best for you because this software is around $97 a month, but it is the best process I personally use. And I found after using like Inventory Lab, Boxum, Linworks, 9yard, this is the best one. Although it doesn't connect to your inventory, it is the smoothest one for your warehouse team delegating. So we have 2D workflow here, right? So you simply go to FBA inventory after you connected your account, and we have the touchscreen monitor here. This is the best for warehouse, obviously, just because it's a lot smoother than having a mouse and going back and forth while you're prepping, right? So we know exactly how much is on one layer of a pallet and how many layers on a pallet for us. Exactly 28 per layer, and then 6 layers for us. So we just put in a quantity for this one is 28, and then you just create a draft shipment, and this is what it looks like within the draft shipment, right? So we have a pre-saved box template right here, right? Since this is 1 box per layer, all you have to do is put the box and, you know, change that amount, but we're planning shipping, right? This is for the operator. This is for the person planning out the inventory, right? This is the one creating a shipment, and then once you create it, you're going to be able to delegate it to your team. So for this one, we would have everything filled out, and then we're just going to press plan shipping, and then this is what pops up, right? You can estimate shipping, but for us, it's 2 pallets exactly. So we're not going to split it up. We're going to actually pay that fulfillment fee. We're going to press create shipment. So now that the shipment is created, right, you just open it very simply right here. And then you basically, well, the warehouse team is able to see now that, you know, what items they have to prep. And then you can simply press, we're doing purple right now, so you can simply press print label, right? There's a print icon right here, as you can see here, print icon. And then you just press no print required. Just press print item labels. We have our labels connected right there. So we're just gonna do, let me plug this in. We're just gonna print these out right now, right? So we're gonna press print. And here we go. It's fully automated, right? They're able to see exactly what to print, what to prep. And then these are the item labels. So we're just gonna prep this one out. For the candles, we have special prep instructions, but since these are very heavy glass, we put 3 layers of bubble wrap, right? This is so it doesn't break because it was a huge problem with the breakages. So we put 3 layers of bubble wrap, and then right, this is the fully boxed package right here. And then we're going to put on one of these labels. Sometimes, since, you know, we're doing multiples of these, it might not make sense to put them on immediately. So sometimes we wait until everything's finished, and when we're about to put it on the pallet, that's when we put it on. But the workflow really depends on you and how you want to operate your team, right? This is because we have we don't really prep much. It's just a lot of work to prep a single unit, right? Which is why we wanted this process. But obviously when you're doing when you have a high volume item, it's gonna be a lot different. So let's come in here. If you have like a single box in a single unit, you would just print this one. This is a 2D barcode. You need it on every box, right? So, but it varies depending on like how many fits in one box for you. Some people, it's like 50 units in a box or something, but for us, it's 1 unit in one box. So we need a label on every single box. So definitely, if you have 1 item, 1 box, you use this label. And then if you have like different items in each box, or like 20 items in each box, something, you just print out print box label, right? It's just a little different. It just doesn't have the FN SKU like the one we just put on here, right? This one probably is the one for you, but for us, we just use the one that has both labels together. It just makes our job a lot easier, right? So as you can see here, it shows you that they prepped this one. So this one's completely finished. So they can move on to the next color, right? As you can see here, it's completely green, and the progress bar shows up right here as well. And then after everything's done, you just save shipment info, right? You just put in like the height, which we know is 72. That's the max height you can put, by the way. So 72 height is the max you put. And then 1,500 pounds is the max weight. So our pallet actually fits that almost perfectly. It's around 1,400 pounds per pallet at a height of 72, right? So it's perfect for us, but you have to find what works for you. This helps us achieve around 25 cents per pound while being fully automated, right? We just put in what we need to restock. And then from here, the warehouse staff is able to pack and put on a pallet altogether, right? Usually you just put on the FNQ and then the box labels and then just put on a pallet. And then from here, after you save shipment information, you can just buy the shipping. You can choose to do that yourself or have an employee do that, right? It's very simple. It just shows up like exactly how much the shipment costs, right? You just choose the cheaper option, right? Contact person, just put the contact person, contact phone number, declared value, estimate my free class. It's fully automated, like it estimates itself, so you don't need to really worry about that. And then declared value, you just put in the value that your items are, and then it's gonna put 3,000, right? And then you could put like 2 pallets, add a pallet, and from there I'm gonna put 72. Like you see here, we have easily added the pallets, right? And you can just print pallet labels. Pallet label, we just put 2 pallets and you can print this out. It's all like this, right? So warehouse staff can fully print this themselves and do everything themselves. Just wrap the pallet and then it's gonna be fully ready to go by the pickup date. As long as, they pick pickup date that's aligned with when it's gonna be ready. And then after that, you do have to print the BOL. You can't do that here since it's sent to your email and inside your Amazon account. You just hand the BOL and then the process is done. So it's really hands off. The employee knows exactly what to pack, how much to pack once you set up like how many units is in a box. And from there, that's the way you do LTL or full truckload shipments, right? For SPD shipments, it's almost identical, right? Let's say I want to create a draft shipment with these 2 units. We're going to do create draft shipment. So you can do different things such as multi-SKU box. So let's say like the box with that single item is too light. So you can either go with a bigger box or you want to combine different units, but keep in mind that you need 5 identical boxes to get the optimized split. For SPD, it is definitely worth it and a lot cheaper, but for less than truckload, it's a lot more expensive to send 5 pallets into 5 different locations. So for LTL and full truckload, it's more likely that you're gonna be paying for minimal splits, right? You're gonna be paying the convenience fee. But from here, you just select the items that you want to combine, right? Do these 2, and then how many units? I'm gonna do 10. Let's do 3. Obviously, we ship candles, so it makes no sense to ship these in a box since they're so heavy. So if your item is heavy, it might make more sense for you to ship it on a pallet instead of through UPS, right? And you could do 5 copies, right? However many copies you want to do. So like boxes with multi-SKU items, and just press create box content. Put in the box dimensions, 50. You want to max out at 50 because I noticed that's the cheapest for SPD. The price does increase from like 25 pounds to 50 pounds, but we're talking about like a maximum like a $5 increase. So instead of paying like $13 twice for 2 25 boxes, if you do one 50-pound box, it's gonna be like $17 compared to like the 26 you would pay by shipping 2 boxes, right? So this is usually what I did when I was doing SPD shipments, and we're just gonna do, you don't have to do it this way. You don't need this label. It's just for like kind of the workflow. This is for, when you create a shipment, you can just scan it and it will tell you exactly what shipping label this box applies to, right? But usually I try to keep it organized and try to do maybe like 5 to 10 boxes, 5 to 10 identical boxes at a time. I usually don't use this because I find this like to take up a lot more time since the employee has to scan each and every single box. And yeah, it's just not efficient in my opinion, but if you're finished with all the contents, you could just remove all the unpacked items and it's gonna only show the items that is finally packed, and then you can plan shipping. So in reality, if you don't know like how many fits in one box or something, you can put up like a big shipment and then just tell your employee or tell your staff to make 5 identical boxes, or at least 5. Like anything over 5, even 6 is still gonna be optimized splits. So, and then they can just figure out like how many fits in one box to maximize the box value, and then just remove unpacked items after they're finished packing. They could plan shipment, plan shipping, and it's the same exact process. So it's super simple. You're able to compare the prices for like SPD or full truckload as well. Sorry, not full truckload, SPD or LTL as well, right? You're able to estimate the shipping, but actually we could try that just for you guys. So fetching shipping options. So this one, the shipment split is $157. And then let's see this one. Since it is very few units, right? So the total placement fees is a lot lower, but I'm guessing it's not like, for you guys, it's not gonna be 3 units per box. It's gonna be a lot more, right? So in this case, it might make sense for us to do this way, but the placement fees is determined based on like how many units you have. So if you have like 100 units, the placement fee might be like $80, right? Inside the 5 boxes. So it's gonna be a lot more expensive to ship to just here than other. So this one's 100 for a total of 30 units. So I'm guessing most of you guys are gonna have like 25 units or 50 units in a box. So 5 boxes, that's around like 250 to 500 units. It's gonna be a couple $100. So this is kind of just like an example, but it's also a great tool to have, right? Since this one's very close to me in New York, right? These are pretty much mid to West Coast. So this one's a little bit more expensive, but this is not normal. Keep this in mind. For SPD, it's usually like optimized splits is the cheaper option, but it is a great tool to have. You're able to have estimate shipping. So you can realistically compare prices, but in the end, it's still gonna get there and you're gonna have your items in FBA. For SPD, once you create the shipment, and these are pretty much packed since, you know, you basically packed them before. Like if your staff is checking how many fits in a box, they likely already packed it, right? And you just create a shipment and you do the same process as the LTL. I'm not gonna create a SPD shipment right here, but essentially, actually, let's do that. Let's create a shipment just for the sake of this video. We're gonna create a shipment just for the sake of this video, right? We're gonna do the same process where you have box labels right here. And if it's already packed, you just simply print out these box labels. These are the box labels that, not the FN SKU, right? The FN SKU should have been on the units already. So, you know, if the employee didn't put on each unit, you should probably put it on. But these are the box labels that you put on alongside the UPS box labels. This is not optional. You definitely have to put it on because you will incur fees. And then you just press complete shipment, show shipping options, and then it's gonna show up how much it's gonna be. But the estimate shipping, I found that it's always correct. So yeah, you can just go off the estimate shipping. And from here, you just buy the label and then it's gonna let you print all the labels at once. So you just put it alongside the other label, right? $86, just like I said, $99 total. And then just buy shipping and complete shipment. And yeah, you always want to use Amazon partner carrier just because most of the time it is cheaper than your own fulfillment, but also Amazon takes liability if like your shipment, your items get lost. When you use your own carrier, I noticed that they'll most likely say contact or resolve the problem with your carrier, which, you know, it sucks. So I always try to go for Amazon partner. They have great rates anyways. So this is a great way to go. And then buy shipping complete shipment, and from there it's gonna say print all labels and you just print out the labels. Very simple. Just put it, if it's identical boxes, you just put it on any box since they're identical, and that's how you do an SPD shipment. If you want to see the top 3 mistakes I've made that cost me over $100,000, that's the video right here. Finally keeping the money that's owed to you and how to get it back. I'll see you in the next video.